Hi, welcome back to the Enough Effect podcast. I am your host, Abby Tabilos. This is episode 22, which is crazy. And wow. When I was scripting for this podcast episode, it was so funny because I kind of have a bank of ideas that I keep at the bottom of my scripting doc. And when something's calling to me, I just kind of work on it. And this idea has been in my little brainstorming section for a long time, like over a year long time, because I think it was a thought that I needed to fully flesh out and have some time to process it. And I originally had this thought back when I was still learning how to detach religion from my identity. And I want to explain, of course. First of all, the thought that I had written down is my self-love is not rooted in my religious beliefs. And when I first had this thought, I was on a solo hike a year and a half ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's probably so controversial to say. Like, I thought I was voicing what Satan would say, but at the same time, buried underneath all this stuff, I felt this little glimmer of that would be so freeing, you know? And before I get into what I wanted to say about this topic, I want to explain what it was like when my self-love was rooted in my religious beliefs, because I think I'm at a place now where I can truthfully say it's not. It's taking me minimum 2 years to get there. But what I mean is that there was a time where my love for myself and my positive feelings towards myself were rooted on if I was obedient, if I spent my time wisely, if I served people enough or thought of other people more than I thought of myself, and if enough people loved me, because that was the evidence that I was doing it right. Because if you're a good person, people naturally like you. Flawed logic. I'm admitting this now. But these were like the 4 pillars of Abby's self-esteem. I'm being so serious. So if I needed to repent for something, self-esteem goes down. If I am sick and can't work, self-esteem goes down. If someone doesn't like me, self-esteem goes down. That's what I'm saying is it was so conditional. I thought I meant less and was less worthy of love as a human being if I wasn't able to live my religion and what I saw was the ideal way. I mean, I don't want to say it worked for me for 25 years because I don't know if it worked, but I did it for 25 years and it was painful. I did not like myself, and that made me not be who I wanted to be. I was so obsessed with being a good person that I inherently was therefore maybe less kind to other people because I was so irritated and depressed. That's why I felt so radical when I initially had the thought, oh, my self-love's not rooted in my religious beliefs, because it's scary because you think, if my self-love's not rooted in those things, I won't do them anymore. I won't be someone who likes service. I won't be obedient. I won't be someone who uses their time wisely, etc. That's the fear. And it's because your OCD is revolving around the fear of you becoming someone you don't want to become. You can't become those things without loving who you are inherently. And just to be a bit harsh, think about this for a second. If I had those 4 pillars, if I'm just taking one of them, obedience, and I think if I'm not obsessed with obedience to this level, spending so much time and effort on obedience, I won't be obedient enough, and I'm going to become this bad person. You're never going to escape that belief. That is honey for OCD. It's the honey that's going to keep you trapped. It's sticky. It's manipulative. It uses fear. If you always believe you have to be obsessed with something to be that thing, that's exactly what OCD wants you to believe. It's the perfect trap. And if we were to move away from that OCD trap to reality, it's that I can have self-love and respect and compassion for who I am and not spend hours a day thinking and ruminating about if I was obedient and repenting and being righteous. I cannot do that and still be obedient. The difference is I'm going to be obedient while following my values of self-love, respect, compassion. Those two things can coexist. But if you're doing it the OCD way, they cannot. Because OCD takes your values away and disguises them and makes you think you just care about doing the right thing. No, that's what OCD wants you to care about. As I've moved towards my values and more away from OCD, I have found maybe I don't value obedience as much as I thought I did. How scary is that? But maybe I don't. Literally, that's so cool. Because you start, as you move away from the OCD bubble, you start to reveal who you actually are. And that is so freeing to me. I was driving the other day to go to work. And for the first time in years, I thought, I just want to sit with my thoughts today. I want to turn the radio off and just drive in silence and be with me. And if you have OCD, you know how huge that is. Because before, I was so scared of being alone with anything in here because I was going to get bullied. Literally bullied and become scared. And now, as I've learned to find my own voice and stand up to OCD and not base my self-love in what OCD says religion is, I have found peace.